YouTube, it's Mama Doe Dawn. I am a single mom paying off $55,600 of debt, and in the process of doing so, I'm also trying to kind of redo my daughter's room because she is now 2. She's not a baby anymore. She really doesn't need like a nursery. So I'm trying to update some of the things that I got for her and turn them into more girly type things. She is super into princesses and Barbies and like everything that I didn't want her to be into. I really tried to push just like gender neutral stuff on her, and she's like, nope. Super girly, I want princesses, I want fairies, I want mermaids, unicorns. So that's kind of the theme that I'm taking and running with for her room, and I'm trying to make it super special for her. And one of the ways that I did that was I took this old ugly toy tote that we were using, and I have updated it to like this really pretty pink fuzzy tote thing, which you can see in the picture right here. We're going to take this today, this old ugly red tote thing, and we are going to attempt to turn it into this pretty pink fuzzy thing. I just made this DIY video on this, and I am like not a DIY star. I've never spray painted anything in my life. I'd never modge podged anything in my life. Both of those things kind of went into this project, so I'm just going to take you guys through. You can join me as I go through it. I think it's like super funny because I really had no idea what I was doing, and I kind of learned as I went. But yeah, you guys get to tag along, see this DIY, and see this transition from ugly tote to kind of cute children's worthy tote. Alright, so we just have the tote sitting outside here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray it off and just get it really, really clean to start. Okay, now I have it totally clean, so I'm just going to let it dry. I want to get it completely dry for the next step. Okay, so let's just quickly go over the supplies that you're going to need for this. I have spray paint here, furry fabric that I'm going to use as the top, some sandpaper, paintbrushes, and Mod Podge. All together, like the fabric was super expensive. It was like $18, but other than that, like all of these things right here were about $15. If you can find like discounted fabric, you're looking at like making this entire thing for probably around $20. Okay, so now I've brought the box inside, and I have some sandpaper here, and I'm going to attempt to sand down the plastic just to kind of give it a rougher surface for the spray paint to hold on to. So I've never done this before. I'm winging it, but I'm just going to kind of go in a circular motion down it to kind of give it just a little bit of a rough edge, and hopefully I can sand this off at the same time, or any like dirt spots that I see. I'm not even going to worry about this top surface because this is going to be Mod Podged, so I'm only worrying about all of this and probably the bottom. Okay, so you can like definitely see it's like scratched up now. I don't know if I like ruined this. I'm trying here. This is just me winging it. But okay, so it's kind of scratched up a little bit, and now I'm going to go ahead and just wipe it down with a cloth one last time to get any little bits of grit off of it. Couldn't really get this sticker off very well, and honestly I'm not too worried about it. It's just going to be spray painted over, and it's going to be in the corner anyways. So now we're just going to take a wipe and wipe it down, and this is just to get any little bits on it that are left that will affect the spray paint off of it. It's completely wiped down, so now I'm just going to let it air dry for like 15 minutes just to make sure it's nice and dry. Okay, so I have my spray paint. I put my toe on like an old towel. I've never spray painted in my life, so this is going to be exciting. There's also like a piece of fuzz on there. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, I'm so dumb, but how do you spray this? Is this the little hole that it comes out of? Or is this? I think I'm going to like press down. Okay. I'm going to start in like the grass. I've never done this in my life. Okay, I'm going the right way. All right, let's try this. Is it coming out? I don't know. Oh, it is. Oh, wow, it's super light. Okay. And the wind's blowing it. Why is it doing that? I feel like it should be coming out more. Now it's like dripping down. Ugh. The wind is not working with this at all. It smells really good though. Like it has like a weirdly like fruity smell to it. I don't get it. I wonder how long it's going to take to coat this. Probably a really long time. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is going to take way longer than I thought it was going to. That's okay. The wind is like really, really affecting this. And also it's not spraying evenly. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm winging this. This is gonna be like the most unprofessional DIY ever. I mean, we're just gonna keep layering it until it gets the color that I want, so. The breeze is killing me here. And then I get like those spots where it starts to drip. Ugh, makes me so mad. Okay. It's like starting to get light pink. We'll see. Ah, see, I keep doing those big dots like that. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Why is spray painting so hard? How do people make it look so easy? Alright, well, we're gonna leave that and let it dry. One very sad layer on top. Alright, so I'm back. The first layer is dried, and I'm gonna try this again. And I'm just gonna hold it closer and see if that kind of helps. This is gonna be really hard to do while filming. Oh yeah, that's much better. So we're gonna do this to the entire box now. Okay, so I've done half the tote. And like I said, I wasn't worrying about the lid. So it's looking really good. It's probably gonna need one more layer on top of this. And then I'll do the other half of the tote once this half dries, and I can kind of tip it sideways. Okay, so now I have just spray painted the other side. As you can see, there's still like some red tint to it. So I will do one more layer after this kind of dries up. Okay, I have the tote back flipped over. I'm gonna spray paint one more layer on and see what it looks like. Okay, so it's starting to look like it's covered. The thing with sunlight is it's always gonna show, you know, the errors. So you can kind of see like scratches and spots where it wasn't covered totally clearly. Don't touch it, Charlotte. But we're getting there, and I think that's just what I'm going to stick with, is that amount right there. So I'll flip it over to the other side here in a few minutes and do the other side. Okay, so we have it tipped to the other side, and I'm going to do one last layer on this side. So I got a couple of really dark lines there, but it's not going to bother me too much, I don't think. And now I'll just let it dry. Okay, so now I have my tote here. I'm sorry, I'm in my office, it's super messy. But I'm putting my fur on top, and I'm going to use a razor blade. I'm actually going to put the faux fur upside down, because with faux fur you're supposed to cut like this with a razor blade, so you're not actually cutting the fur. You're just cutting the base of it. And I'm going to go and I'm going to trace this one and this one into the fur. So I messed up because upside down, it traces it backwards of the way it needs to be when it's right side up. So I'm just going to cut into like 4 little squares and try to see if that'll fit on the box. I have 4 little pieces. The great thing about fur is it's usually pretty forgiving. So now I'm going to attempt to glue those pieces on to the box. First, I'm just going to layer them like a layer of Mod Podge on top of this. Alright, so I have a layer of Mod Podge on. Now I'm just going to try to press a fabric square on. Okay, so I have kind of like these little flaps on the side, and I'm just going to kind of trim it up and then glue down whatever's kind of extra on the side, and then glue another piece right here, but I'll go ahead and trim these off first. Okay, so I left this because this is what kind of like closes. And I am going to now Mod Podge on this piece over here. Again, I'm going to try to like trim off this edge here. One little piece that I'm going to go ahead and glue right there. Okay, so now I'm going to do that whole thing on this side. Okay, so the lighting sucks because it's storming out, but this is the finished project. Fur is super forgiving, which is nice, but I did take a hot glue gun around the edges and just kind of trim it up. This side doesn't look super nice, but this side does. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And the back side there. So this will be like the front. And just a little pink fuzzy toy chest. Opens up. Still red in the inside, but that's okay. And yeah, there we have it. My DIY tote to girly toy chest. Alright guys, and that is the finished project of my tote transformation. Like, I'm not a DIY all-star, but the main thing about this is that I'm trying to be super frugal. I couldn't go out and spend like $60 on a new toy box for Charlotte, and overall this cost the $3 thing of spray paint, like an $8 container of Mod Podge that I used a very little bit in, so I'll definitely be able to use more of that in the future. And then the fabric was like $18 a yard, but I didn't even use a full yard of it, so I'm going to be able to use that on other projects. So total, it was like less than $15 when you account for everything, just the amounts that I used of everything. So $15 to turn this old ugly tote into kind of a cute little accessory for her room. I was really happy about, and this channel is about like being super frugal, paying off debt, living on a budget. So I thought it just really made a lot of sense to kind of share this DIY with you guys. And I'm super into DIY right now. I have creative ideas floating around in my head. Typically I utilize all those for my business, but I'm like, you know what? I just want to redo Charlotte's room, make it super cool. So this was kind of the first project that I'm doing there. And as I do other ones, I'm going to share them with you guys too, because really my goal is to redo her entire room, but redo it very affordably. And this was just my first way of doing that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very unprofessional, super chill / kind of fun DIY of the tote. And as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.